Diamond Review.
Every once in a while, a game comes out of nowhere and captivates the hearts and minds of gamers across the world. Dave the Diver is that game. Today we'll dive deep and explore what makes this game so special. In Diamond Reviews, we'll be covering 4 main areas of the game: presentation, story, gameplay, and tech talk. I'll also be including my personal impressions at the end of the video as well. Without further ado, grab your diving suits as we delve into the fantastic depths of Dave the Diver. Right away, when you first start the game, you'll notice the presentation has some serious flavor. During the day in shallow waters, the visuals are vibrant and colorful, showcasing an aquatic landscape that just feels good to explore. It's the complete opposite though in deeper waters or during night dives, which create a claustrophobic sense of impending doom and shrouded mystery. The inverse visuals complement each other well and help set the tone of each dive. Speaking of visuals that complement each other well, that's kind of the entire look of the game. From 2D pixel art to 3D graphics, it's simple yet super effective and works perfectly here. I personally love the art style on display and feel it helps cater to the overall vibe. There's also some charming bite-sized cutscenes that pack a ton of humor and personality. Like this one for example. Overall, the visuals are mwah, and one of the major highlights of the game. Now let's talk about the soundtrack. It's so damn good, featuring a track list full of chill lo-fi beats and dark synthwave goodness. I often found myself busting out freestyles left and right whilst playing the game. I'll do you a favor and spare you this time. There's also some hilarious tracks that brought a smile to my face every time I heard them. Allow me to introduce you to the masterful sounds of Hot Pepper Tuna by MC Sammy.
Hot pepper tuna, 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 hot pepper tuna. Do some more chanting, hot pepper tuna, hot pepper tuna, hot pepper tuna, hot pepper.
Now that is the sound of the gods. The official soundtrack is available for purchase as part of the deluxe edition, and I highly recommend it. Alongside the excellent soundtrack, the sound effects in game are also on point and help keep you engaged and immersed. From the deep impact of your harpoon hitting its target to the ambient sounds of the ocean, it's a true delight to the ears. Overall, the presentation in Dave the Diver is rock solid, and I cannot praise it highly enough. Everything about it exudes style and flavor. From a pixel-perfect art direction to an incredibly rich soundtrack coupled with immersive sound design, it's the whole package. The story centers around the main character Dave, a professional diver who just doesn't get the respect he deserves. One day while relaxing on the beach, Dave gets a call from his investor buddy Cobra, who wants Dave to come help manage a sushi restaurant. As an avid sushi enjoyer, Dave cannot refuse the offer and flies over immediately to meet with Cobra. Once he arrives, they link up with Bancho, the owner of the restaurant, and this is where his adventure begins. Throughout the game, you'll encounter a dozen or so main and side characters who each have their own agendas and quirky personalities. They're all over the top and filled with exaggeratory satire that perfectly fit the humorous nature of the game. There's more than meets the eye on offer here, as not only will you be diving during the day and managing a sushi bar at night, you'll also become entangled in a mysterious journey for the ages. Without spoiling too much, let's just say you're going to unravel ancient secrets linked to an underwater nation thought to just be legends of folklore. You'll also have to deal with a bunch of other crazy drama as well, such as helping dolphins survive against pirates, a not so eco-friendly group of fanatics controlled by corporations, and much, much more. Poor Dave, he just wanted some damn sushi. The main story will take you around 21 hours or so, with average playthroughs lasting upwards of 30 hours. There's a lot on offer here, and overall the story is well paced and written. It kept me hooked the entire time. Simple, effective, and oftentimes hilarious. This is one adventure ride you don't want to miss. Both the presentation and story are wonderful, but it's the gameplay where Dave the Diver truly shines. At the start of each day, you'll be given the opportunity to dive once in the morning and once in the afternoon. The main purpose of these dives is to acquire a bunch of fish to use in your sushi bar at night. Alongside gathering fish, you'll be able to also unlock sunken treasure, progress quest lines, as well as find new blueprints for your weapons. Weapons can range from dart guns that put fish to sleep for higher quality catches, to sniper rifles designed to combat sharks and other deadly fish at long range. There's a plethora of different weapons, and overall they all feel impactful and serve a purpose. During the story, you'll also face off against challenging bosses, each equipped with unique mechanics to overcome, and some of them definitely pack a punch. These boss fights were a lot of fun and added some much needed challenge to the game. In my experience, most of the time I died outside of boss fights were due to greed. I suggest making sure you don't overstay your welcome during each dive, as there's plenty of opportunities to achieve your goals. When you're not diving, most of your time spent will be serving customers and managing the restaurant at night. The nighttime gameplay is so different from the daytime dives, it almost feels like you're playing a different game, but not in a bad way, not at all. Serving customers, cleaning counters, pouring tea and beer is reminiscent of playing something like Overcooked, where you're on a time clock to make sure everyone gets their meal and leaves happy. Speaking of customers leaving happy, there's an entire built-in smartphone system with many different apps, including Cooksta, a restaurant app where customers can leave reviews. Acquire enough of these reviews and you'll be able to gain access to new recipes, unlocks, and cosmetics for the bar, which there's a ton of. You can really customize the bar to look a bunch of different ways, giving it a nice personal touch. You can add speakers, plants, artwork, change the stools, the countertops, the overhead. Basically everything is fully customizable. At the end of each shift, you gain money based on which dishes were sold. You can create your own custom menus each night, serving a variety of different sushi. Some sushi can earn a ton of money, whereas others can generate a bunch of happy customers. Be sure to carefully plan each menu around your current needs. Once the cash starts rolling in, you can hire servers and cooks to accommodate your ever-growing business. The staff can be trained and leveled up to unlock new abilities and enhanced capabilities. They'll go from struggling to serve a few customers to working for Gordon Ramsay in Hell's Kitchen. It's a great progression curve and adds an element of a management sim to the gameplay loop. This provides just enough complexity to keep you engaged without becoming too overwhelming. You'll also have special event nights at the restaurant where you can serve specific dishes to make bonus money. VIP customers that, when treated carefully, will provide a huge benefit to your restaurant, increasing overall growth and popularity exponentially. And you don't just spend your gold upgrading your bar, you can also enhance Dave's own diving capabilities, from higher oxygen capacity to being able to dive deeper, or adding additional damage to your harpoon. Once again, the progression systems here are so rewarding, and you really do feel all of these upgrades begin to add up. There's a stark difference between your first few dives and diving after earning a bunch of unlocks. From struggling in shallow waters to swimming around better than Echo the Dolphin, it's great. One thing that kept impressing me about the game was the sheer number of systems you start to unlock as you keep playing. There's a collectible card system where fish are scored based on rarity. Like if you find a 3-star fish, it then becomes a holographic version of that card. It serves as the game's Pokédex, allowing you to keep track of all of the fish you've seen or caught. Fish farms where you'll collect eggs from catching different fish that then use at the fish farm to breed a ton of fish. You can then breed super fish to serve at the restaurant or sell them for additional gold. Still not impressed? How about actual farms where there's fucking chickens and crops to further enhance your menu? You can get eggs, you can get all types of shit. The This game is literally an onion that you keep on peeling over and over and over again, adding to the overall gameplay loop. By the end of the game, you'll have such a variety of things to do, it's hard to become bored here. Even after beating the game, you can keep playing, continuing to fish and farm as long as your heart desires. Overall, the gameplay is varied, and between an adventure game during the day to an overcooked style restaurant management simulator at night, it's a joy to play and easily one of my favorite gameplay loops to come out this year, and this year has already produced some absolute gold. Now let's talk tech. I have some good news and some bad news. Let's start with the bad news. There's a complete absence of any graphical settings. The art style gets away with not really needing them, but I couldn't help but feel it could at least include the bare minimum. I was experiencing some really bad screen tearing early on, and with no built-in VSync options, I had to force VSync through NVIDIA control panel to eliminate the tearing. It was a minor issue, but still, I shouldn't have to go through this in 2023. You're not able to remap controller outputs, which could cause problems for some people. Luckily, the default control scheme worked just fine for me. There's no real presence of accessibility options here either, which sucks because they are such a welcome addition, and I hope to see some integrated within a patch. Now on to the good news. The game runs flawlessly. There was basically zero frame rate issues. Over the course of my near 40 hours with the game, I encountered next to no bugs, and if I did, they weren't worth mentioning. Now as always with bugs, everyone's mileage will vary, so take that as you will. A lot of my time spent with the game was on the Steam Deck, docked on my 4K 60Hz TV, and it ran beautifully. It's fully verified on the deck and is a perfect game for on the go. So if you're a Steam Deck owner, this is a must-have in your collection. Currently, a Switch port of the game is in development, with no news on a port for PlayStation and Xbox just yet. However, given the game's success, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something in the future in regards to launching there as well. What you get here with Dave the Diver is a game that runs flawlessly out of the box, with next to no bugs encountered during my playthrough, excellent Steam Deck performance, and a disappointing lack of graphical options and accessibility settings. My significant other and I had a blast passing the controller back and forth, taking turns between each day, and the game is perfect for that playstyle. It's hands down one of our favorite games to play now, up there with the likes of Vampire Survivors and Halls of Torment. Casual enough to appeal to a mass audience, but challenging enough to keep you engaged. In conclusion, Dave the Diver is the definition of a complete game, the full package. Everything works, the systems are varied and directly benefit one another. There's no shoddy microtransactions. AAA studios need to take note. I've said time and time again, it's not the budget or cutting edge graphics that make good games. It's passionate people who give a shit about what they're creating and not just after your wallet. In my final verdict, Dave the Diver earns a 4.5 out of 5. If you're a fan of games like Stardew Valley, Dredge, Overcooked, Animal Crossing, or just looking for a game that respects your time and is worth every penny, look no further than Dave the Diver. Lastly, sitting at just $20 earns my Diamond certificate, making it a must-play experience and a game you should add to your collection immediately. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more Diamond reviews, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time on Wealth Gaming.